Hi guys, and Happy New Year. I hope you enjoyed my little slow morning reset. I'm just getting home from church, and I had a video originally planned to post on New Year's Day, but I didn't really like what I said in it, and I just thought that maybe it would be best if I didn't record it or share it. Sometimes I can share a little bit too much when I'm on these videos. But yeah, so I hope everybody's having a happy new year so far. So it's officially 2026, and I have some boundaries and goals in mind that I would like to start putting together for this year. First things first is a lot of what I want to do on this channel is going to be in Adam the Woo's honor. He's really inspired me to do more adventures and just put stuff out there, regardless of what people may think, what it looks like. I know a majority of you are going to be kind anyway, and I would like to welcome the new subscribers that have subscribed to my channel since his death. I really appreciate that, and I'm still on the hunt for more adventures. I'm hoping to record as much as I can this year. Our future as a family is very uncertain with my grandfather. As I probably mentioned in a few videos previously, he's not doing very well from cancer. And as a result, we're kind of having some issues as a family, trying to cope with it. And just to be brief, Christmas was a little bit insane for me. It was good and bad at the same time. I kind of butt heads with a couple of my family members, and we had to have some hard discussions and hard phone calls as a result. And it's also just reminded me of the kind of boundaries I need to have in place. And number one being, I need to put myself first. I need to also open my heart up to someone new if they were to come into my life, if God were to bring them in my life this year. But at the same time, it is not anyone's responsibility but me to take care of myself and my mental health, and I am not at liberty to discuss what I choose to do to make myself grounded and feel good about myself and feel centered and overcome challenges in my life. I'm not at liberty to discuss that with anyone, and my new boundary is I won't be discussing it with certain family members. Basically, when I was on the phone with my grandmother, I got asked difficult questions and things that centered around my mental health, and I don't think that is appropriate. I think it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I had somebody putting what they thought was best in my ear, and I don't think that that is okay. We're in a time where everyone needs to be their own advocate, and I am my own advocate, and I am not going to let people that aren't necessarily healed and are in a different chapter of their life dictate my life and make me question my overall healing and progress. I'm definitely not the person I was 7 years ago, and I want to be a different person and progress in a positive direction every day and every year going forward. That being said, I've been in therapy since I was 25, and, I want to continue that road. I think it's the best option for me. I don't really want to be on any kind of medication. I don't need medication. I take some for my thyroid, and that's already bad enough. And there's enough synthetic things out there causing more harm to people than good. And I would rather not be on a lot of things. So, I'm trusting God. I'm using prayer. I'm serving at my church, and I'm doing the healthy things that I know to do to help me when I have challenges come up in my life. Now, my goal is to, continue breaking family curses. I want to become a better person for me. And I also want to continue showing up as a better potential partner for someone else in my life. Right now I'm still single, and I'm still, trying to, gather myself still from, allowing someone in my life who yet again kind of misled me in how they really felt. And it puts more guards in place, but I also want to make sure that those guards don't get so strong that I don't let anyone else in. And I'm reading books right now to help me. There's a book I'm currently reading by Case Kenny called The Opposite of Settling. And it's a really good book, and it's helping me with future relationships, how I talk to myself, how I talk about myself, certain thoughts that I need to have as a healthy individual. And I'm really looking forward to applying it to my life this year. And, I'm also putting in more boundaries that are godly and healthy, and making sure that I have the right influencers in my life, the right voices, the right energies, and things like that this year. And of course, I want to record more content for you guys as much as I possibly can, and not be so much of these talking videos. I know they're not really everyone's cup of tea, and I want to make sure that I do a variety of content and I try to record things. And I can't guarantee that everything's going to be polished. I'm still learning how to edit. Plus, you guys have to kind of be patient with me because I have a full-time job. In fact, I go back to that full-time job after being off for 2 weeks tomorrow, believe it or not. I'm not really ready. It's going to be chaotic and very busy once we get going on it. And there's only like a few of us to go around in our department to do everything that we need to do. And I'm kind of nervous about that. So if you pray, please pray for me, because I am going to need it this week. And I'm going to need all the coffee and all the energy that I can muster to get through the next month. Because it's going to be crazy. And we don't know what the future is going to hold with my family. And, I have let my coworkers know what's going on. So that way, if I have to disappear at a moment's notice, they know why. Because obviously my family has to come first, and it's going to impact my overall plans this year. This year, I plan on traveling to Oklahoma in May to see one of my cousins graduate high school, because I missed the other cousin graduating because I had to house sit. And I didn't want to do that this year. I wanted to actually go and experience Oklahoma again. So there might be a vlog out for that. And then in September, I have plans to go to Walt Disney World and meet my aunt. And I'm excited and looking forward to that. And it's my second time there in my life, and I'm really excited. She's kind of decided to split the trip with me, and it's helped me make it a little bit more affordable to go. I also plan on spending a small portion of that trip in Celebration. Since that's September, I know that Adam's house probably won't be Adam's house anymore. And I want to also respect the family. I want to respect everyone's privacy. And I don't want to get myself in trouble while I'm out there. So when I go, I'm going to vlog maybe all the hot spots in public that he would walk through. And I'll try to find the 7-Eleven. I'll try to find the crocodile that he talks about, or the alligator, and walk along that lake and go to the Starbucks and order his favorite drink and film the clock that he likes to talk about in his videos, and just those sort of things. And then I'm on the Facebook groups for Adam, and there are talks of, by his realtor, I think, that they're going to put a plaque in the park for him. And I would love to see that. And I hope that it's there by September so I can go and record that. But again, I also want to extend, again, a welcome to anyone that's new that recently has subscribed. I appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm not in a hurry to grow it. And also, I'm not after anyone's money. I'll never grift. I'll never do anything like that. I'll never want to do anything that earns extra money. Could I use extra money? Absolutely. I think everybody could. But I'm not going to be greedy and selfish in a way to earn it. I'm going to work my full-time job. I'm going to keep doing everything that tax-paying adults have to do. I don't want you guys to ever think that I am trying to earn someone's subscription or attention or anything like that. I'm, great if this grows. If this channel grows, awesome, great. I'll love that. I'll be excited if it does. But if not, and it slowly just kind of paces itself up, that's good too, and I'll try to be as consistent as I can with content. But like I said, be patient with me because I do have a full-time job. And I also want to make it engaging and interesting. I don't want to just do all of these videos where I sit and talk. And I may occasionally do like the podcast videos that I did earlier last year, where it was just my voice and I did like backgrounds that were moving while I was talking. I might do one of those. I do have fancy audio equipment where I could do that. So that might happen again this year. We'll see. And this year is going to be more about my mental health, my physical health. I want to continue working on that. I go to the gym as much as I can. This time of year, when the year first starts, I get a little frustrated because I'm a gym regular, I would say. And the people that are not very serious about the gym like to overcrowd the gym. So my intention for this first week in January when I go back to work is to let the crowds kind of mellow out. I don't know if they will until maybe February or March, but I'm going to try my best to let them mellow out as much as I can. And then go back the following week. So I'll probably go back next Monday after this video. And it's also because I'm also trying to establish a better routine. I want to get better about the times that I go to bed. I have a tendency to want to be a night owl sometimes, and I go to bed way too late for me, and I wake up tired, and I'm tired of waking up tired. I already have enough conditions as it is that cause me to not have enough energy, and I don't want to make it worse on myself by not going to bed when I need to go to bed. So my goals for this year are to try to have boundaries with that, eat dinner at a decent time, because I don't obviously want to eat really late because that also impacts my overall health and wellness. I'm still working on my weight loss journey. It's been difficult and frustrating. So at the same time, I'm trying to practice grace and self-acceptance and loving myself in every stage that I'm in, and no matter how I look. Most people would say I look pretty, fit for, because I go to the gym regularly, but my weight is not where I want it to be. It's kind of discouraging. But I'm also grateful that my weight's not where it was, because in 2021, when I went to Disney the first time, I was at my most unhealthiest and I was at my highest weight. And I am so glad that I've not been there again, and I've managed to keep most of that off. The first time I lost all of it, it was unhealthy because I was sick. I wasn't feeling well, and I was having problems with my digestive system. And every time I would eat, I wouldn't feel well. It wouldn't matter what I ate. So I lost like 40 pounds initially from that, and that's not how I want to lose weight. And then I gained a little bit of that back because I got my appetite back and I started to feel better. But I don't want to do that again. And I want to also be mindful about what I eat and be careful and try to, lose weight, eat more proteins and things like that. Just same goals that I had last year, and I'm going to continue that this year. And then, of course, be better about my bedtime and boundaries. So, we're starting a 21 days of prayer and fasting thing at my church this week, and it's going to go through the last week of January. And I volunteered to do lights every night this first week, so I will be pretty much not home until 8 p.m. So my goal is to eat dinner at work before I go, and then I'm not going to go to the gym after that. I'll just go home because the gym is further away when I'm at church, number one. And number two, the crowds are crazy this time of year. And three, I want to try to put, again, more boundaries in place with myself and watch my time and try to be in bed at decent times, because I have to get up early for work, and it's exhausting to wake up tired. And we're going to be in a season where we're really busy with classes and training and things like that. And I got to be on my A game, and I can't be tired because I know what happens when I'm tired, and it's not good. I did at one point have a trainee make comments about that on one of the evaluations that we had, and I had to do some damage control and address those issues. Granted, I think she exaggerated a little bit about what happened and misunderstood some things that I said and did, but that's not the point. To be godly and kind to her, I just addressed it in a written message and apologized for things that she may have taken the wrong way and things like that, and she appreciated it. I felt horrible about the fact that it's out there online for people to read, like the things that she said. Because unfortunately, the software that we use for our evaluations that we get in my job, it doesn't allow us to address feedback directly on the software. So unfortunately, I had to address it offline. And so there's no evidence on the software that I did anything about it. But it's okay. I figured if it was a problem, it would have been done and addressed, and it was from months ago. So I've not had anything impact me since. But at the same time, over the holiday break, I've just kind of identified some areas in which I want to get more aligned and better aligned. And I want to deepen my relationship with God as well. That's also another goal of mine. And so during this prayer season, I'm going to have him help me identify areas where I'm still not getting it right, realign my heart and focus on what matters, and just trust him with my overall life. Because when it comes to people in my life, I tend to fail to trust him, and I keep wanting to go in my own strength. I get on the dating apps, and they're a dumpster fire. Let me just say, as a young single woman in her early 30s, they are a dumpster fire. It doesn't matter what app I'm on. I get all kinds of people that don't read my profile, don't care about what I'm looking for. They hope I still will take them in like some lost animal or something, and they're just completely left field no's. And I'm seeing that pattern on a consistent basis, and it's super frustrating. And the few that I find, like the guy that just dumped me, they come to me appearing to be everything I'm looking for, and then the mask either slips, or I get like what I just got, a message that says they don't feel romantically connected to me after I pour into them and give them all this effort and genuine kindness, and then they do that to me. And then God love these people. I don't have anything against them, but I think it's okay to have certain preferences, certain things that you look for, both physically and intellectually. Obviously, the intellectual part matters more than the physical part, but people know, like when you're looking for someone, you want there to be some kind of a spark there. You want to have attraction. That's how kids happen. That's how marriages happen. That's how relationships get deeper and closer. And God love these people, but I get a lot of guys that are into me that could potentially be good partners, but I don't feel anything for them, and I never will, no matter how much I try. And I'm not even going to try to pretend, because I just came from a dumpster fire relationship in which I felt so guilty that I was pretending to be into him, and I really wasn't. And I don't want that lifestyle anymore, or ever to live that ever again. And it just seems like that's all I seem to attract. And I want someone that I feel a little bit of that spark for, not just because they align to me faith-based wise and they want everything I want within reason. Of course, I embrace differences. I'm not saying I want a carbon copy. I'm saying I want somebody that's on the same page with me, with my faith, family values. They're family oriented and they like all of that. And that's what I want. And I also want somebody that gives me that physical spark, because I think that you should have a little bit of that. Now, that's not all that love is. Love is not the movies. Love is not When Harry Met Sally. But at the same time, there has to be some kind of physical spark there, because why else would you be with that person? You're just a friend at that point if there's nothing that is making you have a desire to want to be physically closer, So that's what I'm looking for, and I'm trying not to be very picky, but at the same time, I'm taking both the time that I'm alone to kind of get realigned with God and focus on what matters, but at the same time, I am being picky, because this is my future husband I'm trying to choose. This is the person that's going to raise kids with me. This is the person that's going to be with me when I'm sick. This is the person that's going to comfort me when my family is gone one day that I don't even want to think about, and I'm hoping that the world ends before that happens, but it may not, and I have to be prepared for that. And I'm hoping that God doesn't have plans on me being alone still when that does happen. I'm already kind of in a season where I'm trying to adapt to the potential anticipatory grief of my grandfather. And he's the last grandfather I have alive. And when he's gone, there is a strong possibility I'm still going to be single. And yes, I have my family. My family loves me. I have a network of support that I'm going to have to lean on when this happens. But there's just something about being able to come home to someone and a family and things like that. And I don't have that. I come home to a quiet house. I'm not even allowed to have my cat. I rent. I have a cat, and they won't let me have animals here. So I understand that, because there's a lot of tenants that don't take care of homes, and they let animals run rampant and do whatever they want. And my cat does have stress issues, and she can get destructive when she's stressed out. So it probably is for the better that she's not here, even though it is sad. And I wish I could have her, and I wish I could get a dog, because I do think it would make things feel a little less lonely here. I do go through bouts of severe loneliness, and it's hard. And it's just another area where I have to trust God, even when I don't want to, or even when it doesn't make sense. But yeah, anyway, I think that's about all I want to say in terms of like what I want to do for this year. Again, I will try to have as much content as I possibly can this year. I can't make a commitment to anything on a regular basis, but I will get on here as much as I can and when I feel led to. And of course, all the adventures I do this year, I plan on vlogging, and I'll edit them and make them as polished as I possibly can. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And there will be more content soon. And happy 2026. If you're praying, just please pray for me that I don't lose myself or my sanity this week or within the next month, because it's going to be insanely busy. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm nervous because there's going to be times where I'm going to be in a room by myself with a lot of people, and I'm hoping that I can handle it. It makes me very nervous, but, you know, God's part of life is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, and this is probably going to be the most uncomfortable I've ever been, because we lost another person in our department, and that is going to leave me by myself in some instances with our classes that we're doing. So I'm nervous about that, but I'm hoping that I can do it and it's successful, and things aren't going to be too hard for me to answer, and I can help them and they can be successful at their jobs, the trainees that come to us. So anyway, I will talk more with you guys soon. I hope you guys have a fantastic week and a fantastic start to the new year, and I hope you guys meet all the goals that you are trying to reach, much like myself. So more content to come later. For right now, this is me signing off.